Fuck's sake, mate. Fucking earthquake. Again! Literally as I press the record button. What is with these fucking earthquakes? Stop with this shit. Fuck it. Anyways, if we all die in an earthquake, it's going to make a damn good show. Let's just hope they post this video later. Posthumously, I'm Johnny Massacre, and welcome to the Johnny Massacre Show. This is the Monday Night Massacre. On tonight's show, Elon Musk buys the majority share of Twitter. In other news, Stone Cold Steve Austin returns to WWE. Who's fucking with me? Give me a hell yeah! You really do pick the best times for fucking earthquakes, Mother Nature. Yes, I'm out in Japan. There's an earthquake over here, but there's actually another earthquake, not a literal earthquake, but a metaphorical earthquake on the tectonic plate of Twitter and big tech. Elon Musk has the world's richest man with a net worth of $273 billion has bought a 9.2% stake of Twitter, making him, lest I remind you, the largest shareholder. Amazing news. I woke up at about 8 p.m. in Tokyo and I could not believe my eyes, bruv. I could not believe what I was seeing. Twitter stock has risen more than 25% in pre-market trading Monday to $49.10 a share after the $2.9 billion purchase. So the power of Musk is insane. You know the saying that money creates money. Musk merely putting his face on Twitter has increased the value 25%. So if he were able to sell his shares now, he would make a profit of $725 million just for putting his face on Twitter. And this also shows us that wokeness does not sell. Musk is the antidote to wokeness. And as soon as he's involved with Twitter, the shares exploded. So this is good news. Shares of other social media platforms, Meta and Snapchat, also were trading higher on the news. Surprise, wokeness hurts sales. Does it hold companies back, making their companies woke and censoring loads of their users and demonizing their users? Yes, and this proves it. So that's good to see. Take note, Disney. Get woke, go broke, as they say. So according to NBC News, Musk's stake in Twitter is considered a passive investment, which means Musk is a long-term investor looking to minimize his buying and selling of the shares. So this is a long-term move. Apparently, Musk is in this for the long term. The sizable stake, along with Musk's recent comments, indicate that Musk could be looking to exert some control of the company. So this is surely correct. Musk's recent comments suggest that this purchase is not purely financial. What are Elon Musk's recent comments? Well, you want to see what that looks like. He actually came out on Twitter and he started a poll asking people if they thought that Twitter was basically anti-free speech, and the majority of people agreed with him. Look at this. Elon Musk tweeted out on March 25th, not so long ago, "Free speech is essential to a functioning democracy. Do you believe Twitter rigorously adheres to this principle?" 70% of people said no, 30% of people said yes, and 2 million people voted. So this is a massive victory for free speech, because Musk asked if Twitter is anti-free speech and people said yes, and then Musk bought the majority stake in Twitter, and then Twitter's shares went up, which can only mean that the idea of having, I don't know, free speech and giving people freedom is lucrative and positive. This is a victory for free speech, even if it goes no farther than this, in my opinion. Now, leftists, in their moment of hubris, dismissed this poll. I read loads of articles saying, oh, Elon Musk, he's not going to do shit. Elon Musk can't do anything. And I'm going to show you an article that was mocking Elon Musk, and we'll compare that with the news today that he's bought the majority stake in Twitter, and it is just delicious. So look at this article on TechCrunch before the news was announced that Musky bought the majority stake of the Twitters. TechCrunch said Elon Musk tweeted this weekend that he's giving serious thought to building his own social media platform. Quote, given that Twitter serves as the de facto public town square, failing to adhere to free speech principles fundamentally undermines democracy, the billionaire serial entrepreneur who is CEO of Tesla and SpaceX tweeted, what should be done? And remember, this is before he bought Twitter, and loads of people were speculating he was going to make his own social media site, but that wasn't what he was going to do. The article says, if your blood pressure spiked reading these tweets, you're not alone. Yes, all the people over in big tech and TechCrunch, oh my God, this guy wants free speech. My heart is spiking. I'd rather have a censorious communist hellhole to live in than a nice capitalist free marketplace of ideas. TechCrunch said, we probably won't see an app called Doge Social X anytime soon, mocking Elon Musk's own children in a bid to delegitimize his concerns about free speech. TechCrunch said Musk has a history of tweeting absurd memes, thoughts, and even material information about Tesla, then feigning shock when US regulators react with more than a raised eyebrow. However, when it comes to Musk actually following through on his wacky Twitter ideas, his track record isn't that great. Well, actually, TechCrunch, Elon Musk has done more than follow through. He's gone all the way through, out the other side, and splattered all over the fucking wall. So Elon Musk, man of his word. This is excellent news for free speech, in my opinion. According to Wedbush analyst Dan Ives, we should expect this passive stake as just the start of broader conversations with the Twitter board management that could ultimately lead to an active stake and a potentially more aggressive ownership role of Twitter. So why is Musk's appointment in Twitter extra spicy? For me, it's a bit like Obi-Wan Kenobi being elected as Speaker of the House on the Imperial Senate in Star Wars. He is behind enemy lines, deep behind enemy lines, and he might be able to shape the narrative and strategy of Twitter, which would be amazing. I think Musk is the right guy for Twitter because, number one, he's not political. He makes fun of the ultra political radicals. He plays both sides of the aisle. He had a progressive wife. He was on Joe Rogan podcast. He hung out with Kanye West, who's a conservative. So the guy is pretty much a centrist. It's pretty obvious. Another reason I think he's right for Twitter is because he's pro free speech. The third reason I think he's right for Twitter is because he's a meme lord. Memes are the fuel of the internet, and he understands memes and he loves them, and that's why he's so big on Twitter. He understands the platform, and he obviously understands where they can improve. And number four, he's a businessman. PayPal was founded in 1999 by Elon Musk, and he used those earnings to start SpaceX and Tesla. So he can only do good things for Twitter, in my opinion. So you might be wondering, what power does Elon Musk exactly have as the main shareholder? So we need to make this clear. He's not the majority shareholder. The majority shareholder means you own 50% or more of the company. According to Investopedia, by controlling more than half of the voting interest, the majority shareholder is a key stakeholder and influencer in the business operations and strategic direction of the company. For example, it may be in their power to replace a corporation's officers or board of directors, but Musk obviously isn't going to be able to do that because he doesn't have enough voting power. But he does have massive voting power, owning about 10% of the company. But look at the United States Senate, going back to the Senate, unfortunately not Star Wars this time, although Palpatine is attending this particular Senate in the form of drag, in the form of Nancy Pelosi. They have a 50-50 split of votes, and Pelosi, Skeletor, or Palpatina, has the deciding vote. So imagine, and basically Republicans can't get anything done in the Senate. So imagine a 90-10 split in the Senate, 90% being the other Twitter shareholders and 10% being Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, Elon Musk. Obi-Musk Kenobi. This means Musk is somewhat of a paper tiger, I guess. A paper Shiba Inu. His vote isn't going to go that far. But an interesting thought is, usually people don't buy the company outright. They do it in drips and drabs, and they kind of buy it in chunks as they go along. So Musk might be buying more of Twitter. Is he just getting his ducks in a row? Is this the first purchase of many, and then he's going to take over the whole company? If he actually becomes 50% shareholder, the majority shareholder, then we're going to see shit get mad spicy, bruv. I think Musk might be buying more. So let me tell you about the story of Stan Kroenke. So I support Arsenal Football Club. Our current owner is Stan Kroenke, and Kroenke Holdings in the club began with an initial 9.9% bought in April 2007, pretty much the same amount that Musk has already spent on Twitter. This was initially regarded with hostility, but now Kroenke is regarded as an ally of the Arsenal board and was appointed as a non-executive director of the club in September 2008. Kroenke bought his stake. He increased his stake to 20.5% the following year, quite simply. And then he increased his stake to 28.3% in that same year. And then there was a bidding war with rival people bidding. And Kroenke eventually increased his shareholding to over 50% in April 2011, buying out two other shareholders at 15% and 16% respectively. So the point is, often when entrepreneurs buy out companies, they don't just buy it all in one. They buy a chunk of it and then they start buying more chunks. And eventually, because that drives the price up, because the shareholders know someone wants to buy it and buy the whole company, it means the shareholders can't resist the money. And it means that Musk might be actually engaging in a strategy where he's going to buy up chunks of Twitter and buy the whole fucking thing. If it's a big if old Muskie does buy the whole of Twitter, there are many, many questions that come to mind. For example, will he reinstate Donald Trump? Can you imagine? Can you imagine what that would do to Twitter's value? I know Trump's on Truth Social, but I think Trump would come back. Will Musk change Twitter's hate speech policies? Will he bind Twitter's policies to the First Amendment, getting rid of this ridiculous censorship of anyone who's ideologically opposed in communist fashion? Will Musk reinstate some of the people who were banned, shadow banned and suspended? Dr. Malone, for example. Will he change the news section? Currently, it looks like CNN on steroids. It's just purely leftist news and propaganda. Will he change that? The greater point here is that Twitter will obviously be more successful without censorship, proved by the fact that shares are jumping. My personal questions are, does Musk now have access to all of Twitter's practices? Can he expose the shadow banning and inner workings of the Twitter infrastructure? Can he expose the racist training, the critical race theory training, the radical leftist rot within the company? And then, man, he'll probably discuss it on Rogan. That would be amazing. I'll tell you, the next Joe Rogan, Musk is going to be off the charts with Twitter on the schedule as a subject of a discussion. So the final thing I want to say about this is, who do you trust to run Twitter more? The guy who founded SpaceX and Tesla, who's blasting us to Mars, who smoked a spliff on Joe Rogan and playfully shares memes mocking woke culture, or a bunch of Marxists, beta males, hell-bent on censoring and surveilling, who can't define what a woman is? I know who I want as the CEO of a website that dictates the future leader of the free world. I think we desperately need this one in the culture war. And by we, I mean free thinkers who want to be left alone by the government. And please spare me the conspiracy theory bullshit in the comments. It doesn't matter what news piece there is. There's always someone who's going to go, yeah, but this is not what it seems to be. Musk is being controlled by the New World Order, or this is because of some other reason and he's playing 4D chess and this isn't what you think it is. The fact is, Musk has bought 10% of Twitter, and I think that is a good thing. I'm Johnny Massacre, and if you're just joining us, we're discussing the massive news of Elon Musk becoming the majority shareholder of Twitter, or at least owning the most shares. He doesn't own 50%, but he owns 10%. But if you've been more than any other shareholders in Twitter. But if you've been watching from the beginning, stop your grinning and drop your linen. Donate some cash, and let's keep winning. Streamlabs.com/Johnny Massacre. The more you donate, the more of me you are going to get. We've got 26 days to make $1,000. Keep this channel running. Fund the massacre. Click the link in the description box below. Streamlabs.com/Johnny Massacre. And please give generously. Okay, so finally for tonight, Stone Cold Steve Austin returned to WWE. So I think it was WrestleMania. This is a company that's run by Vince McMahon, who's a conservative, who was an advisor for Donald Trump, and it's one of the main trending things on Twitter. So that's pretty interesting in and of itself. And Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of my favorite wrestlers, the guy whose catchphrase I borrow for the beginning of the show, give me a hell yeah, no one does it better than him. He returned to WrestleMania and he did his signature move, the Stone Cold Stunner. He did it twice and he fucked it up one time, but apparently the wrestling nerd said it was his supposed victim of the Stunner that fucked it up. Which caused this mess. So let's just look at Stone Cold Steve Austin coming back. One of the stunners was good, which I am really happy about, and that's all I need. But one of the stunners was left a lot to be desired, and I really want to show you that now, because it's just It's Stone Cold Steve Austin, mate. He's a fucking legend. I love this guy, and he comes across a really good bloke. I've seen him on a podcast. He's just superstar all over. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, according to WrestlingInc.com, WWE Hall of Fame and others react to Vince McMahon botching Stone Cold Stunner at WrestleMania 38. So here's Vince McMahon. He's like 72. Look how ripped he is. Look how ripped he is. Stone Cold. He doesn't age, Stone Cold. I fucking love him. So you want to see what this looks like? Let's Mick Foley, who played Mankind, wrestling legend, said worst stunner ever. It's quite funny. So here it is. Let's have a look at this. We're going to see the botched stunner. The first one's fine though. Look. That was sick. That's enough, bruv. That's enough. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. But then we get another one. Here, look. This is where he fucks it up, apparently. He actually downs the whole beer. I see, like, he fucked it up. It was Vince McMahon. He's laughing. And then, and then you could have at least done it properly when you finally did go down. He was laughing, though. All this means is we need Stone Cold Steve Austin to come back to WWE, because if he does, then even I'll watch it again. Then following that, we might even get anti-woke WWE coming back, encouraged and incentivized by the rising of the Twitter shares, with anti-woke Musk becoming the main shareholder. Then we might get back all the bra and panty match and the titty match and the thongs and shit. Fucking hell, that would be amazing. Let's bring it back. Okay, that's about it for today. Musk buying most of the shares in Twitter. Not most, I keep getting it. Musk becoming the person who owns the most shares in Twitter, although not the majority shareholder, as that would require him to own 50%. And Stone Cold Steve Austin, give me a hell yeah, returning to WWE. Please come back, Stone Cold. I'll start watching again. I have been Johnny Massacre, and I tell you what, mate, you better be back for the next episode. Otherwise, I'll be coming around your house. Please make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because that is what all those other cunts tell you to do. Can I just say as well, mate, I'm fucking turning into a hobo. It's good you can't smell me. I'm turning into, like, what's that guy from the Aviator? Is it Howard Hughes, who just locks himself away and kind of like stores his urine in these huge kind of jars and stuff, becomes really eccentric and just smells like a heroin-addled tramp under a bridge? That's what I'm becoming, mate. You got to turn that white donation bar green, and then I can afford to have hot water, have a shower, and you'll get plenty more of these shows. And wouldn't that be better for everyone? More Johnny Massacre. Laters.